used to work in a corporate office building downtown. Nothing special. Beige cubicles, buzzing fluorescent lights, co-workers who hated Mondays more than life itself. I worked the evening shift, so I was mostly alone. But what happened during my last shift, that really ended everything there for me. People online call it the backrooms or some kind of liminal level. But that doesn't explain what I heard, what spoke to me. But you'll understand soon. It started when the elevator broke. I was on my way to drop off some paperwork on the ground floor when the doors refused to open. A sign taped over the button read, "Elevator out of service. Use stairs." But when I turned around, I froze because the stairwell next to the elevator, I had never seen it before. I'd worked there for 3 years, so I knew that layout by heart. Yet here it was, a metal fire door labeled -1. Not 1, not B1. A floor below the basement that I knew didn't exist, at least not before today. I should have turned around, but curiosity is poison. I pushed the door open. It groaned loudly, like it hadn't moved in decades. The stairwell was cold, colder than any hallway in the building. And then I heard it. A whisper. A tiny, stretched out sound, like someone speaking underwater. But these weren't words. It was more like tones. Breath moving across a damp mouth. I thought someone else was down there. "Hello," I called out, but that only made the whispering stop instantly. Then I felt it, right against my ear, another whisper, and this time much clearer. "Come, down." The voice was soft and familiar. Too familiar, you could say, because here's what's crazy. It almost sounded like mine. I should have turned around and gotten out of there while I still could, but no one ever does the right thing at the beginning of a horror story, do they? When I reached the bottom of the stairs, it suddenly felt like the world changed. The concrete walls were gone. Instead, I stepped into a vast hallway with yellow wallpaper peeling in long curls. The carpet was stained with dark patches. Ceiling lights were buzzing like angry insects. It looked like this impossible space, a maze of identical rooms stretching forever in every direction. And I heard about places like this online, liminal spaces, backrooms, analog levels, but seeing it in person felt like my brain was trying to fold in on itself. But just before I could wrap my mind around everything I was seeing, the whispering returned. It wasn't just one voice this time though. It sounded like there were dozens layered whispers coming from every doorway, every dark corner, and every vent. Some were fast, some slow, some overlapping. But the worst part, one of them whispered my name perfectly. I pulled out my phone to record. I needed proof because I am sure that no one would believe me otherwise. I walked through the hall. The lights flickered in a slow, pulsing rhythm, like the entire place was breathing. My camera shook when I saw it. A single metal chair sitting in the middle of the hallway. I took one step closer, but what happened next would scare the living hell out of me. Without anything pushing it, the chair slowly screeched across the stained carpet toward me, and as it came to stop, I heard a whisper behind me, low and raspy. "Sit down." I spun around and I saw just more empty yellow rooms. Suddenly, the chair scraped closer, and the whisper repeated, this time in my exact voice. I ran. My brain finally decided that enough was enough, and I swear that my body had never moved faster before. The rooms blurred together as I sprinted, But just as I thought I was getting to safety, I realized something horrifying. The whispers were following me, but this was no echo. No, it sounded like they were tracking my movement. Every time I turned a corner, I heard a new voice whisper just ahead of me, like the walls were warning each other. He's coming. He's here. And the floor. Well, I can't explain it because I was wearing shoes, but the floor felt warm, like something beneath it was alive, breathing. A deep, slow inhale shifted through the hallway. The lights dimmed with it, as if the entire level was a giant set of lungs, and then the exhale hit me, warm and rotten, pushing my hair back. I pressed my hand against the wall. It pulsed, just once, like a heartbeat. I nearly threw up, but that's when I heard footsteps, human footsteps, heavy, deliberate, coming from a cross hallway ahead. Finally, I thought, someone else was trapped here like me. I sprinted toward the sound, but then stopped cold, because when the figure stepped into the light, it was me. Same face, same clothes, same tired eyes. But its smile, that thing was brutally wrong. It was too wide and stiff, almost like it was pulled across its face like someone stretching wet fabric. It was at this point when the whispers stopped all at once, and so me and my doppelganger were swallowed by this heavy, dead silence. But then, a single whisper, echoing through the halls, in my own voice said, "You shouldn't have come here." The thing mouthed the words a half-second late. Then it lunged. I screamed and began running so fast I barely felt my legs. My doppelganger's footsteps behind me weren't human. They hit the carpet like something heavy being dropped repeatedly. The whispers erupted again, this time furious, shrieking, overlapping. They filled every room, bleeding through the lights, slipping under doors, clawing through the vents. And then one whisper slid right against my ear, right next to me, even though no one was there. "He's faster." When I saw the metal door marked exit, I didn't question it. I slammed into it with my shoulder and burst through. Suddenly, bright fluorescent lights, white tile floors, office printers humming. I was back in my building. The stairwell door slammed behind me. I heard one last whisper fade out, "Come back." I didn't look behind me. I couldn't. That was 4 months ago. I probably don't need to tell you that I quit the same night. I even moved out of the city, and just to be sure, burned the clothes I wore that night. I didn't want any reminders of what I definitely consider the scariest experiences of my life so far. But believe it or not, I still hear it. Sometimes in my room at night, sometimes in the static of my phone, and sometimes right behind me. The same whisper. "Come back."